It's really weird how it stopped. Like I said, I was a really angry person. I didn't realize it at the time. I'm a kid. I don't know. I'm not in touch so much, I think, with my feelings at this time. But I started dating Reggie Williams.
Oh wow.
And yep. And so I say dating, we were talking probably.
Yeah.
And this was back when Fashion Square Mall had payphones in the mall. And he had known about this. He was there that day and saw the fight at the
Yes.
homecoming game. That's the first night him and I met.
Yeah.
He sees
Oh
the
wow.
fight and he's like, "What is going on right now?" We talk and stuff, and during our conversations over the next few weeks, I'm just like, "Yeah, these girls are whatever. They're." And I just blew it off. I was just like, "It's whatever, right?" Like, yeah, I've gotten into a few fights, and it is what it is. Well, he and all these girls, by the way, are older than me. They're a year older.
Mm,
You're 1 to
mm,
2 years older than me. So while
mm.
I'm in eighth grade, they are now in high school when
Already in
this
high
fight
school and
occurs.
still want to fight
Yep,
you. Wow.
still
That's
wanted to
not
fight me.
normal. That's not normal.
It, no, it's not normal. Not
Hmm.
looking back, it wasn't. But
No.
also, what I know now, these girls all had some issues at home,
They were from
right?
a poor neighborhood. I've been really wanting to learn about that, what's going on out there. I lived in Carlton, but I never knew what was going on right over the bridge in that neighborhood. But I know that the poverty was, it's kind of similar to
Yes,
Pheasant Run in our neighborhood.
it
So
was.
I
Yep,
want to learn
Waterside
about it.
was.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Reggie calls me one day. He's at the mall, and he says, "I have some people here that want to speak with you." I'm like, "Okay."
So
And I can't
cool.
even remember. Yep, I can't even remember who it was that got on the phone, but it was one of the girls, and they wanted to apologize and to let me know that their beef with me was over. And
What the
just
heck
like
is
that,
that? It's like
it
goosebumps for
ended.
me.
It ended, and I'm thinking, who is this guy? Like, how?
Exactly. That's why I was.
Who
That
is
was
this
my
guy?
question.
And here I am sitting here 35 years later, right? Or 30 years later. And I should ask him, what did you say? What did you
Yeah.
do? I don't know. I don't remember what he said to them. Um, he, I, I just accepted their apology and let it be done. Um, Over the years, I actually became very close. I would consider her one of my best friends, one of the girls. Her name
Wow.
is Angela Gonzalez.
Mm.
Um, Another one of the girls. Here's what's funny: out of these Hispanic girls, there was one white girl that hung around with them, Tracy
Hmm.
Westendorf, and
Okay. Yep.
good friends with
I
Tracy.
know. Know the brother. Yeah. Yep. Hmm.
Yep, I serve on an advisory committee with Tracy here in Saginaw. Um, Yvette Vasquez was one of them. Yvette and I became civil with each other. Matter of fact, in our adult years, I tried to connect with her a lot. She was going through some pretty traumatic things in her life. Um, Yvette was found dead a few years ago
uh,
in the over in Zilwaukee at a boat
mm.
launch in the water.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she suffered from addiction.
Mm.
Um, I had seen her one time. I was pregnant for my second child, and I went to J.C. Penney's to pick up some maternity clothes, and she was working behind the counter,
Mm.
and she was covered in bruises. And
Mm.
I looked at her and I said, "Do you want to talk?"
Mm.
And she kind of laughed and she goes, "You should see him," and laughed it off. And I'm
Mm.
like, "Oh boy." Um, another young woman, they called her Madi. She also, I think, had a drug addiction in high school.
Mm.
Not positive. I have no idea where she's at right now. It's because I saw her at a party one time and she like ran to me, jumped in my arms, acted like we were old friends. And I'm over here
You're
going,
like what?
I'm
Yeah.
like, that was the last girl I fought, as a matter of fact. What is this?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But somebody had said to me that she like was high or something at the party. And I'm like,
Ah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know a lot of where these other women are. I know about Yvette because she was still in Saginaw and because I graduated with her brother and
Mm.
was in touch with him. I'm still in touch with him on and off.
Who's your
Um,
brother? Is it Mike?
John Vasquez.
John,
Nope,
yeah,
John.
John. Yeah,
John
yeah, yeah.
Vasquez.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I mean, he's lost two sisters. He lost his younger sister too. She was
Mm.
murdered in Saginaw.
Oh man.
Um, yeah, it's been some rough stuff for them. But yeah, it was crazy that that day he would call, and I cannot for the life of me remember who the girl was that just said, "I'm sorry, and this is done." And I said, "Okay."
Conflict resolution. So no one teaches us
Boom.
that at all back in those days.
No.
I met with a girl very early on in the podcast named Taria. She's actually from our neighborhood too. She's Black, and she had anger, and she got in one, like, she took your 3 fights and just put it into one fight and just beat the snot out of this person. And she's big, she's tall, and she didn't understand, like, she had came from Flint, and so
Oh,
she ended up in Westdale with us, and Westdale was okay because it was kind of diverse, and we had good
yep.
teachers.
Yep.
Well, not necessarily good teachers, but there was no problems. So she gets to White Pine, it's the same issue. Like, she starts getting picked on. Why are you dressed like that? What's with your hair? And she's like, no, because her dad had taught her, like, don't let no one mess with you. And it's kind of a bad lesson if it's not clarified. Suddenly you're just, so she just beat the crap out of someone, and everyone looks at her like, what are you doing? She's like, what do you mean? Like, I'm handling myself. You're like,
my business, absolutely.
yeah, you don't do that. You don't, like, you just beat the crap out of this person.
I mean, but honestly, same thing.
And she didn't understand.
We didn't have this. Yeah, I didn't have this issue. I just knew what I did know was, even like, in elementary school, I don't know why I'm 5'3". I'm not some huge girl, but I always felt very, very like, I can take you. I don't know why. I just always felt like that. Short girl syndrome. I'm not sure what my deal was, but I was very protective of people all the time, even in elementary school.
That's what I felt from you right away. Is like, you're very protective. Yes.
Very protective. Like, I wish somebody would. That's
right.
how I always was. Like, I wish somebody would. I wish somebody would pick on Daryl other than me. I wish somebody would.
Yep. That's why you're big
I wish
sis,
they
right?
would.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, I would have done it with Chris. Chris was older than me. I still would have been like stepping in front of Chris, being like, I wish you would come at him. Like, that's just how my attitude
and
was.
You protected your sister that way too, right? Everyone knew to mess with her. Yep.
I wish somebody would.
Yep.
Somebody would. And it followed this mentality. I don't know for the life of me where it came from. I'm still like that. I swear. And the thing is though, I remember going through that stuff at White Pine with these girls. David Sines became like a brother to me too. And I was not really a fighter, even though that was my attitude. I was not like wanting to fight. Like,
you were
it just
a protector,
didn't serve
though.
a purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So David and I, every time there was a fight at school, I'm not kidding you, David and I would be right in the middle, trying to conflict resolution on our own without being taught. And we didn't know what that was called. We just were like, can we just settle down and talk about this? Can we figure out what the real issue is? That's how we were.
And then you meet Reggie, and he shows you how it's really done. Then he shows you how it's really done. Yeah, what is this? Exactly.
Yeah, what is this? What did you say to these girls? And I'm sure, knowing him, he said some stuff. I'm sure he said some stuff. But even in high school, same thing. I still had that very protective mentality, but I was always about, let's talk about it. Let's talk.